Greetings and shalom again. This is Minister Darrell of YAHUWAH and his Mashiach. I want to make certain that I do not lift up in anything or in any way or type of any sin or anything like that. If we all have committed sins against the Mashiach, we need to repent of those things, as well as especially to the Father through the Mashiach, and allow their Ruach HaKodesh spirit to dwell within us. I was reading earlier and had made some things that I erased, and I'm going to go back and just put what is here and allow you to go and do the research for yourself. Right, and I've decided to do it this way because I'm trying to start to make sure that I'm acknowledging everything that's written in the scriptures that we're supposed to do, from the commandments especially, and one of them, well, we need to not have the idols and things like that, especially also, but we're not supposed to blaspheme our Creator's name, and we're not supposed to bear false witness, and we're not supposed to have anything that it's as images of a man and a woman, of any beast or of the field, or any fish or fowl of the air or anything else like that. So I've decided to not do the videos this way anymore. I just tried a little while ago to upload to Facebook with just the audio on the recording of my computer. All right, I'll read Hosea, which is means deliverer. And this is from the prophet. And the title above this in chapter 3 is Hosea, or Hosea, takes back his unfaithful wife. And this is a representative of Israel, Yeshua, and how Yahuwah will take back his unfaithful wife. And we need to make sure that we're doing the correct things and make certain that we try to remain even keeled and even tempered, and with our deportment and things of that nature, and make sure that we're walking upright and just in a way that matters, not in form or fashion, but in action and in deed and in love. And like I said, what I found was that in another book that I read was some more additional things, but I'll leave those alone for the moment. Anyway, let me go ahead and read Hosea chapter 3. I'll read it from verse 1 to verse 5, and then I think there was something in 12 I wanted to read as well. Let's see. Okay. Then said the Bara unto me, Go yet love a woman, beloved of her friend, yet an adulteress, according to the love of Yahuwah toward the children of Israel, who look to other mighty ones and have flagons of wine. So I bought for her for 15 pieces of silver, and a homer of barley, and a half homer of barley. And I said unto her, Thou shalt abide for many days, thou shalt not play the harlot, and thou shalt not be for any other man, so will I also be for thee. And for the children of Israel shall abide many days without a king, and without a prince, and without a sacrifice, and without an image, and without an ephod, and without a teraphim. Afterward shall the children of Israel return and seek the Bara, their creator, and David, their king, and shall fear the Bara and his goodness in the latter days. And let me go to the book of Revelation for a minute and see what this says. We read this yesterday, and there's a need to reiterate it again, because we need to understand that this name of our Messiah and of our Bara is important. In chapter 14, And it says about those who are on the mountain with 144 with their father's name written in their foreheads. And then it says that in verse 8, and there followed another angel, no, chapter 7, I'm sorry, saying with a loud voice, "Fear Yahuwah, and give esteem to him, for the hour of his judgment is come. And worship him that made heaven and earth, and the seas, and the fountains of waters." So these things are very important for us to acknowledge that now, if we're where we are and things are progressing the way that they are progressing, and we have no fear of the bara by living the lives that we're living. Again, I'm not judging those things myself. I'm just setting a mandate based upon the way that the word is written and the way that the Messiah has told us and our Father has told us to live. And when we walk against those things, he isn't pleased with those things, and that leaves us in a situation where there's coming judgment for those things. And the thing is that we all have to repent, just like I have to repent on a daily basis, minute by minute. And we all need to cry out for forgiveness to our Father, and to continue to ask him to bless and keep us and keep us from the enemy, because we cannot do anything separate and apart from the bara, our creator. And we need to understand also that like what I said the other day, also in the same chapter in verses 11, let's go through 11 to 13. No, let's go to 10, and this is important also. Excuse me. "The same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of Yahuwah, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation, and he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the set apart Malachi, and the presence of the Lamb. And the smoke of their torment ascended up forever and ever, and they have no rest day or night, who worship the beast and his image, and whoever receives the mark of his name. Here is the patience of the saints. Here are they that keep the commandments of Yahuwah and the faith of Yahusha. And I heard a voice from heaven saying unto me, Write, blessed are the dead which die in the bara from henceforth. Yea, saith the Spirit, that they may rest from their labors, and their works do follow them." So we have to understand that from what had occurred, and if we're at the point where it's being preached that we should fear Yahuwah and give esteem to his name, because this his son had come and said those very things, to give esteem to his name and to worship him. And given the fact that we read in I'll read it again because it needs to be stated in Isaiah, I think it's 62 again. Let's see. All right, it's 63. Excuse me. So the hour's a little, well, this morning, it's morning. 63, starting at 17 through 19. Well, let's go to 16. Oh, we'll go ahead and start from 15. I'm sorry. Let me go back up there. All right. "Look down from heaven and behold from the habitation of thy set apartness and of thy esteem. Where is thy zeal and thy strength, the sounding of the bowels and of the mercies toward me? Are they restrained? Doubtless thou art Father, though Abraham be ignorant of us, and Israel acknowledge us not. Thou, O Bara, are our Father, our Redeemer. Thy name is from everlasting. O Bara, why hast thou made us to err from the ways and harden our hearts from thy fear? Return for thy servants' sakes, and the tribes of thine inheritance. The people of thy set apartness have possessed it, but only for a while, and the adversaries have trodden down thy sanctuary. We are thine, and thou never bearest rule over them. They were not called by thy name. So, like I said, we're being called by a different name, and this is why it is written in 14:13 that the Spirit said what he said, because he said, blessed are they that lie in Yahuwah from that point on, because so they may rest from their labors. And we'll leave it to the Mashiach to make the difference of why or how he'll rectify those things in going through these situations where those who have passed prior to that in that name. But I do know that as it is written that in Song of Solomon, there's a mention, I think it's in that 8th chapter, where he's talking about the people who are the gardeners, okay? And like I said, the way that I interpreted that, some may interpret it differently, but the way that I interpreted that was that those who are in the situation where they are ministering spirits, they have to listen out for what he's saying or things like that. He wants to hear what they're saying. Or let me find it real quick so I can go to it and shut this off and try to get a little rest. Okay, let's see. In Isaiah already. Let's see. It should be 8. Let me see. It says, all right, it's 12 through 14, the 8th chapter. My vineyard, which is mine, is before me. Thou, O Solomon, must have 1,000, and those that keep the fruit thereof 200. Thou that dwellest in the gardens, the companions hearken to thy voice. Cause me to hear it. Make haste, my beloved, and be thou like a roe or to a young harp upon the mountains of spices. So now, again, this is just my interpretation of that, based on what I've seen is that the it says, thou that dwell in the gardens. Who's dwelling in gardens? So, and there is a place that will be Edenic, but that has we like I said, something's off there to me. So again, you look into that and ask the Bara to bring that to your heart, mind, soul, and spirit, so that the separation from truth and error is obvious. And because he talks a lot about gardens in here, and when you consider the temptation in the Garden of Eden, and the fact that he's able to set up, the enemy's able to set up additional gardens and have his people located in there to have people to go into. I remember I told you all before that when I was hospitalized and seeing the person Michael, and I was hearing birds chirping in the guard. It said, if I was where you are and hearing birds chirping, I would be basically concerned, is what she said. And she made a valid point. So again, it was as if my head was in the air and I was in the garden and everything. So I was off on my discernment in what was occurring. So again, please understand and start seeking the Creator in spirit and in truth, because he does love us, and he has done everything for us so that we can know him. Amen and amen.